Hello, everyone. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to Virtual Reunion. I realize this is not the reunion you had imagined. Like you, I'm disappointed we can't be together on our beautiful campus, especially at this time of year. And while I miss seeing you in person and experiencing your joyful energy, I welcome you today with excitement and renewed hope as more and more people receive the vaccine and as we move closer to returning to a level of normalcy we have not experienced in 15 months. This weekend, we celebrate more than 8,000 alums from 17 classes. I want to give a special shout out to classes celebrating their milestone reunions this year. The class of 1961 for their 60th reunion, the class of 1971 for their 50th reunion, the class of 1986 for their 35th reunion, the class of 1996 for their 25th reunion, and I am especially honored to welcome 21 members from the class of 1941 who are celebrating their 80th reunion, and 79 members from the class of 1946 who are celebrating their 75th reunion this weekend. Collectively, you manifest the power of the Smith experience and represent the heart and soul of our great college. Thank you for everything you do to support this college we all love so dearly. Today, I want to talk about three things. First, I want to highlight some Smith alums and Smith community members who've made extraordinary contributions to the world even during the pandemic. Second, I'll update you on the state of the college with a focus on how we have moved key initiatives forward. And finally, I will update you on our plans to renovate Alumni House. So let's start with how the Smith community has led during the pandemic. In a year that cried out for inspired leadership, Smithies stepped up. Your acts of service and selflessness, two defining characteristics of Smithies everywhere, fill me with hope and pride. I know this, Smithies lead, it's in your DNA. Your actions are the manifestation of our mission to educate our students for lives of distinction and purpose. I could cite hundreds of examples of the ways our students, staff, faculty, and alums have lifted their communities and helped the most vulnerable during this very difficult year. Let me share a few stories in the hopes that you are as energized by them as I am. As schools began closing in her Massachusetts town, teacher Maria Citrin, class of 1995, put together care packages for students so they wouldn't miss out on the supplies they needed for remote learning. At the height of the pandemic in London, Rhonda Sr., class of 1988, cooked fresh meals daily for healthcare workers who couldn't go home for fear they might infect their family members. A physician from the class of 1971 came out of retirement to assist other frontline healthcare workers at busy COVID testing sites in Philadelphia. My community was in crisis, she said. There was never any question that I would help in any way I could. We saw Smith community members lead on campus as well. Biological sciences professors, Michael Baresi and Daniel Vahaba, understood the urgency of the moment. These two professors turned their Biology 132 class into an opportunity for students to create a communications guide to inform the public about the biology of COVID-19. Professor Vahaba said that the goal of the project was to increase the amount of accurate public discourse about the pandemic. In all of its 148-year history, Smith has been a good neighbor to the city of Northampton. In April, when the college acquired doses of the Pfizer vaccine to administer on campus, we decided to open our clinic to area residents to help ease the burden on local vaccination sites, and we were able to vaccinate more than 650 neighbors and friends. Over 100 Smith staff and faculty volunteered at our clinic. We also saw Smithies lead as the country confronted its brutal history of systemic racism. Members of the Smith community were among those who took to the streets, raised their voices, and demanded change. Guyana Joseph, class of 2017, co-founded a nonprofit called Fuel the People that provides food for social justice protesters. Food is fuel for revolution, Guyana says, and there is still so much left to fight for. To date, she and her volunteers have handed out more than 40,000 meals in New York City and Washington, D.C. Psychologist Sherry Wang, class of 2006, became a leading voice on the dangers of racializing infectious disease, warning early on of a potential rise in hate crimes against Asian Americans. Smith students are also ensuring greater visibility and representation of Black women and other women of color in scholarly research. For example, Camille Bacon, class of 2021, used her Cromwell Fellowship to study how the representation of Black women in artwork shapes our understanding of race. Professor Daphne Lamoth believes that Camille's research has the potential to galvanize new ideas and insights about race, culture, and identity. From the classroom to communities across the countries, Smithies are leading change. But it's clear that our world will only experience true progress when there are more women and more people of color sitting at decision-making tables, leading institutions, and making policy. One promising sign is that more and more Smith graduates have achieved positions of influence, bringing their values, a spirit of innovation, and a commitment to fairness and justice with them. You won't be surprised to learn that in the past few months alone, President Biden has nominated 4 Smith alums to key posts in his administration. Wendy Sherman, class of 1971, as Deputy Secretary of State. Thea Lee, class of 1980, as head of the Labor Department's International Affairs Division. Shirley Sagawa, class of 1983, as a board member of the Corporation for National and Community Service, and Adrian Todman, class of 1991, as Deputy Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. Yes, Smithies lead. It took 101 years, but in February, the American Civil Liberties Union finally elected its first Black National Board President in Deborah Archer, class of 1993. In announcing the appointment, Anthony Romero, Executive Director of ACLU, said, "There is no one more capable to helm the future battles for civil rights, civil liberties, and systemic equality than Deborah Archer." Every one of these remarkable people is a beacon of hope at a time when our world is calling out for smart, effective leaders. I take great pride in knowing that their ambitions were activated right here at Smith College. And now let me tell you about some key initiatives and how we've moved them forward this past year. Just as Smithies are making their mark on the global stage, Smith, too, is distinguishing itself as a leader on key issues of the day, including access to education, equity and inclusion, and sustainability and climate change. These urgent challenges are among Smith's strategic priorities, and our work serves to both strengthen our college and improve the world. Let me share a few words about our progress in these 3 areas. We'll start with access. As president, I want to ensure that every qualified student from every walk of life can experience a Smith education regardless of their family's financial circumstances. My dream is to eliminate financial considerations in our admission decisions and equalize the student experience. To get there, we must raise $200 million in endowed scholarship funds. Together, we can do this. Last fall, something extraordinary happened that brought us closer to making this dream come true. An alumna donated $50 million to Smith College. It was the largest gift from an individual in the college's history. She designated $40 million towards financial aid where it will have the most enduring impact. With the addition of this gift, we have raised more than $51 million towards our $200 million goal. There are few things more powerful than being able to show that we believe in a student's potential and are willing to invest in their future. Imagine how many lives we can change if we have the funds to admit the best students and to ensure that they have the resources to fully experience everything Smith has to offer. This also means providing access to top-notch career services that will set our graduates apart from their peers. With the remaining $10 million from this alumnus gift, we are reimagining the ways we prepare our students for meaningful and fulfilling careers. We envision a highly customized approach to career preparation that begins on day one. Our goal is to provide every student with access to a team of coaches and highly successful mentors, including Alumni, a series of skill-building courses, support for internships and professional development opportunities, and sustained advising that's responsive to students' needs as their plans grow and change over time. Yes, our aspirations are high, but I'm confident that we will do this together to create new opportunities for generations of students well into the future. Next, I want to talk about equity and inclusion, which remains at the core of everything we do here at Smith. Already we've made significant progress on more than half of our 42 action items in our strategic plan called Towards Racial Justice at Smith College. Our ongoing work includes initiatives such as developing equity and inclusion plans with departments across campus. And I'm pleased to let you know that 10 of the 18 faculty we have hired for the fall are people of color. This is critical work. Although I know we have much more to accomplish, I am proud of what we have done so far. And last, I want to tell you about our commitment to sustainability and carbon neutrality. Like many institutions, Smith has committed to achieving carbon neutrality in 2030. This global call to reduce the effects of the climate crisis has inspired students, faculty, and staff across campus to think big about the role Smith can play in being a more responsible steward of our planet's resources. Faculty members have incorporated climate change content into courses across the curriculum. Students have led successful efforts to reduce energy use in houses, classrooms, and buildings. Our dining halls are offering more locally sourced foods, and we're exploring the benefits of implementing geothermal technology to reduce our use of fossil fuels in heating and cooling campus buildings. Perhaps the most vivid example of our commitment to reaching carbon neutrality is the new Nielsen Library, which opened in March and after a 3-year renovation. I know many of you already heard a presentation on the new library from Dean of the Library, Susan Fliss, but I want to build on some of what she discussed, especially in relation to our sustainability work. From the start, we envisioned a state-of-the-art, sustainable library that worked in concert with nature and the surrounding landscape. The new building is a stunning work of art, thanks to the genius of Maya Lin. Wood, glass, and stone are key elements of its design, and natural light fills the space. It's also a study in energy efficiency. Before the renovation, Nielsen was the largest building on campus, accounting for about 6% of the college's indoor space. The new building's interior is 25% smaller, requiring far less energy for heating and cooling. We're also being smarter in the ways we are preserving our special collections. In the old Nielsen, the temperature remained at a consistent 70 degrees throughout the building. Now, temperatures can be adjusted to accommodate the materials rather than just the space. That means that sensitive archival materials and papers can be stored at an optimal 62 degrees with low humidity. This too requires less energy. All told, the new Nielsen will use 50% less energy per square foot than a typical library with an archive. We believe this makes Nielsen Library one of the most energy-efficient academic libraries in the United States. And as Los Angeles Times writer Carolina Miranda, class of 1993, wrote about the space, after a year from which we have emerged Lonely and weary, Nielsen Library may just be the right architecture at the right time, and I couldn't agree more with her. With Nielsen now complete, we're turning our attention to another iconic campus building, the Alumni House, your house. Beginning this summer, we'll be undertaking a full-scale renovation of this critical architectural jewel, which has served as a center for alumni and college activity for nearly a century. Our goal with the renovation is to create a destination hub for alums. It will be a space that generations of Smithies can call their own, a space where you can come together for events, conferences, and social gatherings whenever you're on campus. We're planning to fully restore the Georgian and neoclassical exterior and to renovate the interior to create a more accessible, sustainable, and functional design. You can expect high-tech meeting rooms, a reimagined first floor welcome area and lounge, a refurbished alumni library, and an alumni art gallery. We expect the renovation to be complete by the fall of 2022. I look forward to welcoming you to your new house then. I'd like to close with a few words about community, another measure of the strength of our community. During the past year, we've been tested. Our resilience has been challenged. Yet as we look to brighter days, we're emerging stronger and more deeply connected than ever before. We've seen the true spirit of the Smith community in the ways we've come together to support one another, to care for the health and well-being of our neighbors, to steward our resources, and to contribute to a better world. I hope you feel the warmth and power of our community as you gather virtually with your classmates and friends over the next few days. Embrace the joy that comes from being surrounded by people who share a special bond, an abiding love for Smith that only intensifies with time. Being part of the Smith community is a gift. I'm delighted to share it with you. Be well and enjoy your reunion. Thank you so much.